Hey, this is Nerion, and welcome to another brand new episode of First Take. If you're new to this series, First Take is where myself and a special guest have a look at some upcoming indie games that are available as a demo, or indie short games to play through. Today, we'll be doing our first take on PERIDIUM. And joining me for this first take is Sofa. Welcome, Sofa.
Oh, it's good to be here.
It's nice to finally have you on the show.
Oh, have you been wanting me for a while? Is that it?
Yeah, you've apparently been really hard to get. You know, you're in such high demand. I mean, you know.
I'm a very busy man.
I know. It's, you know, and your agents are very difficult. So yeah, Sofa is a member of my gaming community as well, like most of the people who are joining us. And yeah, I know you're a big fan of horror, so this is you know, probably the right type of game for us to take a look at.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked. So
yeah,
I do love some horror.
So we don't know too much about this game. We know it's about, we know roughly what it's about. We're not going to say too much. We're just going to dive into it, and you know, as you're watching this through, you get to experience it firsthand, and we're going to give some first impressions as we play through as well, of course. But this game is developed by Powerhoof. It actually came out around 3 or 4 years ago. It was developed actually for a competition called Adventure Jam, and it was for the 2017 competition. And apparently this game only took 5 days to make, which is pretty impressive for a video game. So without further ado, we will jump right in and hopefully not lose our minds.
I hope I lose my mind.
It had taken Lauren first, though he didn't know it then. Didn't understand the dead look in her eyes, that unnatural, wooden, lurching motion as she moved about the lab. Of course, it was too late when I learned to read the signs. Most of the crew were in its power already, and I'd paid a terrible price for my blindness. Was I the last? I could hear their footsteps on the snow outside my cabin. Leaden steps, moving as one. Not safe here. I'll make for the lab.
Why does he sound like my Billy Butcher impression for Cthulhu?
I was about to say it's...
Pain.
What?
Throbbing from the gaping hole in my stomach.
That's not good.
That could have gone better.
Maybe he had a bad curry?
What does this character remind me of?
Open up.
Oh.
The,
My eyes swimming. I almost black out again.
Come on, Jim. There's nothing to worry about.
Harris.
Open this fucking door, James.
Or whatever it is that's living in his body now. I clenched my teeth against another wave of agony. Keep it together. First things first. Gotta get this bleeding under control.
Oh, a gun? Okay. Yeah, sorry, you were saying something.
yeah. It hit the character. He reminds me of... God, is it... Which Men in Black is it? I think it's Men in Black 2. The main villain in that one.
Oh. Well, this looks good so far. I'm enjoying the voice acting, and yeah.
Yeah, with that deep, raspy voice.
Right. What we doing? I got a hole in my stomach. All right, let's go over here. It looks like I can look at the toolbox.
A rusty screwdriver rattled around in the toolbox. Nothing remarkable. There's nothing else useful.
Oh, okay.
Collection of papers on the ancient fungi buried deep beneath the ice. Would have been the culmination of a decade of research. The better part of our lives together. I'd never finish now, but perhaps I can pass on the torch.
Oh, okay. Research. Oh, I got this. Oh, he actually picked up the screwdriver. Okay.
This binder only contains a fraction of what Kathy and I had learned about the fossilized zygomycota. That it was still alive, that it emitted some sort of high-frequency sonar when propagating. That was only the start. God, I miss her.
Ooh.
Man, that really sounds like he really misses that fungi.
Well, they probably grew on him after a while. Oh god.
So dumb.
I'm just gonna... I'll see myself out.
Yeah, exit stage, please.
The door's stuck fast. Need something to lever it.
Screwdriver?
I lever at the door with the screwdriver, but it's too small to be of any use.
I knew that was gonna happen.
It's not important.
He says it's not important. We need to fix his freaking wound.
Is that a
Can't think of
a
use
gun you
for
have
it.
in your inventory?
Yeah.
Okay.
Got a gun, a screwdriver, and a research papers. Oh. Wilkins.
Oh, that's
Sleeping on the
what
job.
happened to that man? Right?
Found
Spilling
some mean-looking wire cutters.
Juice everywhere.
Found a small blowtorch.
Really?
I mean, there is really no
We've
prompt
been shuffling
for,
around lab space.
for inventory
We're mostly
adding
empty at the moment.
Isn't that how most point-and-click adventures work?
Locked.
Locked.
That won't work.
Blowtorch it.
That's not gonna help.
I'm trying to put it back. Okay.
Don't want to waste fuel.
Okay.
Can't do it.
He can't do it, Captain.
He's taking on too much water.
Best leave her. She's running fine. Okay, Wilkins. What you got for me? Kneeling down over the body, I noticed the telltale, inhuman signs on his face.
Show me.
He was also wearing one of those armbands I'd noticed on the others. Oh, God. The stench coming off him. Almost losing consciousness. Again. But desperate. I persist. I find the key in his jeans pocket.
Armband. Can I put that on
Put it
myself?
on yourself.
They don't work
So you
together.
can just be part of the
These
SS now.
armbands, do those things use it to identify those that have turned?
It's like a name badge for the. It's a name badge for like the parasite.
Just an asterisk on it that says infected.
No, it says infected Steve.
The lock clicks open.
Yeah.
My eyes flit hungrily past morphine, antibiotics, bandages. Someone had been storing lab samples in here again. Strictly forbidden, but the lab fridge had been on the fritz for weeks. The sample caught my eye. Thin, scarlet membrane stretched over a pulsating, bulbous growth. Ah! I wave away the cloud of crimson spores. Eyes, nostrils, throat burning. I cough, and the action triggers a dagger of pain from my wound. Still, I manage not to black out, and at least the cabinet's open.
Great.
And this just sounds like a
Morphine
very
would only
aggressive
slow my
STD.
mind, so clenching my teeth to suppress screams of agony, I injected some penicillin around the wound before bandaging it up.
Yeah, I mean, this also kind of screams The Thing as well.
Just the title screen, I kind of got that vibe of The Thing.
Yeah. See if the radio works.
Looking at the radio, my heart sinks. A stray bullet had smashed right through it.
Oh,
Shit.
inconvenient.
Inconvenient.
The plot is out to stop me. But what else could we do?
Can't reach.
To hang yourself with me?
Try to torch the door.
I mean, I don't see why torching the door would be of help.
I'll leave it
Just
alone.
weld the door shut. Fuck it.
But he bandaged himself, right? Okay.
waste fuel.
No.
No time to mess with that. The door's stuck fast.
Well, I've only got a screwdriver. Is there something I'm missing?
It's not important.
Well, that's the volume settings. Must be something still over this side, right?
There's nothing else. There's nothing else
Use
useful.
use anything on the vent. Crawl away.
That's the thing I can't. There's nothing to do with the vent. Furnace.
That old girl's the only thing keeping us from a quick and icy death. Refrigerated cabinet holds some antibiotics at a safe temperature. We keep a small supply of morphine on the base too, hence the lock. I'm done with it.
Okay.
Best leave her. She's running fine.
I feel like maybe there is... I don't know. What do you think?
Still think it's in the other half of the room.
It's Wayne's old blowtorch. These wire cutters are still in good nick.
It's in good nick. Can I...
It's not going to work. They don't work together.
Oh yeah, can I combine something maybe?
Can't do it. That's not gonna help.
My adventure game
There's nothing
prowess
else useful.
is not paying off right now. I want to unlock this thing, but I don't know how else we can
Do you
unlock
not?
it.
Have you used the screwdriver on it?
Yeah, remember it said it was too small.
Oh, that's all right. Oh no, I thought that was for the. That was for the door.
No, that's
I leave her at the door with the screwdriver, but it's too small to be of any use.
Oh, okay.
maybe I have to open the door.
No use opening it. Nothing human out there for 1,000 Ks.
Jim, come on, Jim, open the door. I promise everything will be okay, mate, all right?
Harris was a good bloke. Shit.
Open the fucking door.
I can't stand listening to that thing out there.
What?
That's new.
I shoved the barrel under the wiring.
Oh.
Can't cut it with my bare hands.
Uh-huh.
Reaching up to cut the wire, I feel something brush against my mind. Vast and terrible. That mere fleeting whisper of contact. A freight train roaring through my consciousness. I was drowning. From deep beneath my mind, I could feel that force animating my limbs like a monstrous puppeteer. Lungs burning, I struggled to the surface.
What?
God, was that what the others had felt? I've got to get help.
That was interesting.
Not going near it again.
I think it, like something took over his body. Do we check the radio?
Radio's
Use the wire
useless to me,
system.
broken, and I can't fix it with my bare hands.
Yeah, but you got a screwdriver and 1,000 other tools.
Despite the tremor in my fingers, I've managed to undo the screws.
Yeah, I'm Mr. Fix-It now.
Radio's useless to me, broke.
Alright, I get it.
Awful
think there's some
mess
wires,
of melted
right?
wiring that needs replacing. I have my work cut out for me.
I just like to hear him speak.
Need to cut out this fused wiring first.
Oh, yeah, I gotta do the whole process.
Yep.
Snipping away the fused wiring, I have a vision, collecting fusiform stem samples with my wife. Her laughter. Let's see.
Good luck.
Should be working now. I grabbed the receiver. This is Dr. James Turner, from station Theta 661. Do you copy? The welcome sound of a friendly voice comes through the static. Oh, thank God. I need evac ASAP. There's been... something horrible has happened. Yep. Tell the crew, do not land until they see... Repeat, do not land until they see Dr. Parker.
Dr. Parker.
Copy. Over and out.
Okay.
Thank God for that.
Where am I going now? Am I going...
Wavering on my feet, exhausted, I sink to the floor to wait. Sleep falls like a lead curtain.
Oh no.
Again?
Ah.
I snap awake. Something very wrong. The cold, my mind, my body stiff and numb. The pain like hot lead being poured over my hands, my feet, my face. I struggle to move my limbs, tearing myself away from the frozen floor.
Oh no.
Well, yeah, furnace is out. Blowtorch?
The cold. The flame from the blowtorch isn't lighting the fuel. I need some kindling.
Paper?
Tearing up a decade of work, I throw it in. The page is lit. I stand until feeling returns to my face.
Thought he was getting another
I'll
monster
lose some
attack, but
fingers, but I'm alive. For now.
turns out he was just getting cold.
Is that the evac chopper? It's quiet out there. Time to go.
Oh, he's going to be there,
I'm
isn't he?
turning the wheel when I hear shouts and bodies slam into the other side. I throw myself at the door, but too late. Their worm-like arms twisting their way in. Oh God, don't know how long I can hold it. I stab at a flailing thing, but to no effect. The gun's empty.
No, what?
Yeah, of course it is. Use the cutters.
I can't. Ah, cutters.
I stab at a flailing thing, but to no effect.
Yeah, you're stabbing with cutters. Just to cut the cutters, dummy. Oh, yeah, just set them on fire.
I almost drop the blowtorch trying to light it, but it flares to life and I hold it against the arm wielding that knife. I almost drop it again as the smell of burning hair and pork crackling fills my nostrils. Screams from outside and the knife clatters on the floor. I make a lunge for the knife. Wielding the cruel hunk of steel, I shut my eyes and start hacking. The muffled screams from behind the door, the sticky warmth splashing on my arms. Finally, I feel the door slam close behind my back. It had worn the same armband. They all did once they turned.
But now he's got a hand puppet, so it's fine.
Another one of those fucking armbands. No time to mess with that. Full box of cartridges inside.
Yeah.
Finally.
It's loaded, and I'm ready as I'll ever be.
Yes. Success. So, shall I go back over here, or?
Was there nothing else in that locker?
I'm done with it.
I think there is.
But there's morphine in there, right?
Yeah, but he's done
There's
with it.
nothing else useful.
He's done with it though.
Okay.
Oh, he's got that armband, right?
The thing had just kept coming. Finally went down after I emptied my last 5 rounds into it. But not before it had got me in the guts. Can't bear to go near the thing again.
Maybe.
That won't work.
I guess there's nothing else I can do with the armbands. I was thinking maybe I could.
It's not going to work.
No, I don't know.
Slip in as a disguise.
Yeah, maybe it's. I don't know.
That's not going to help. These armbands, what are they? Do those things use it to identify those that have turned? These armbands, do those...
Yes, you should wear it.
Are you just collecting armbands now?
It's not going to...
Can you put them on each other?
Weapon shaking in my hand, I swung the heavy door open.
He's coming out. Jim, put it down. Look, Ben's here.
No,
Dad, it's me. I'm coming in.
Ooh.
no,
Mum called before. I just got in.
no, Ben. Get out of here. Run.
Dad, put the gun down.
They killed Kathy, Ben.
Dad, it was an accident. They told me what... Look, it wasn't your fault. Dad, what are you doing?
I can't fight it much longer.
Dad, you need help. Please.
Drop the gun, Jim. It's your son, for fuck's sake.
Can't think. Are you
Yeah, you're just gonna
one
fucking
of
shoot
them now
child.
too?
What?
Oh god.
Hands shaking. Every synapse in my infected mind urging me to
Who
pull
should I
the
kill,
trigger.
him or the son?
I mean, I've never been a fan of children.
Please.
Okay.
I gaze at my son. He'd lost so much already.
You made that decision.
Oh God, Ben. But that wrongness is in his face. And what's that band on your arm?
What? It's nothing. What are you doing? Drop the gun.
Boom.
I can't let it have him too. Not our son.
Ooh.
Wow.
Do we need to shoot ourselves too?
Yeah. Hey crew, the new radiation monitor bands arrived this morning. Please see Jeff to get yours. You're
What
required to wear
else?
them.
Oh, no. Oh no.
Okay.
So
Now for ending number 2.
well, it's got to be something with that hand puppet.
What, he's gonna just like stick their hand puppet up his butt or something. I don't know. That's just,
No, you
Weapon
fucking
shaking in
talk
my
with it.
hand.
he's gonna talk with it.
I swung the heavy door open.
He's coming out. Jim, put it down. Look, Ben's here.
No,
Imagine if it was Uncle
Dad,
Ben.
it's me. I'm coming in.
Turns
No.
out this is an old Spider-Man where Uncle Ben never died.
Mum called before.
Yeah.
I just got in.
no, Ben. Get out of here. Run.
This is like
Dad, put the gun down.
They killed Kathy, Ben.
Dad, it was an accident. They told me what. Look, it wasn't your fault. Dad, what are you doing?
I can't fight it much longer.
Dad, you need help. Please.
Dad.
Drop the gun, Jim. It's your son, for fuck's sake.
Can't think. Are you one of them now too?
What?
This is like an alternative timeline where it's Peter Parker
Hands
as a scientist.
shaking. Every synapse in my infected mind urging me to pull the trigger.
There's nothing else I can choose apart from myself, so
And exhausted, I let it take me.
oh wait.
There's no trying to talk him out of it. What?
Take him for processing.
Okay, so after those very two interesting endings, we have now come to the review portion of our video. So possibly if you're watching this, you've actually skipped the gameplay if you plan to play it for yourself and you're just joining us for the actual review portion. But if you're not familiar with how this works, we look at gameplay, visuals, sound, and story, followed by a final verdict, final thoughts, recommendations at the very end. Now, for each category, we do score on a 3-point system, so it's a little different. 3 out of 3, we loved it. 2 out of 3, it's decent. And 1 out of 3, it's a thing. So yeah, let's dive right in and let's start with gameplay. So
For a point-and-click adventure, like, they all really have the same elements, but it was really good for point-and-click though.
yeah, I thought the overall character animation was good as well. I think we have to also take into consideration, like, they made this in 5 days for a competition.
Right?
And
that totally forgot that part of. Oh, by the way, it was less than a week.
so if I'd give this 4 out of 3 if I could. When looking
just for dedication.
Just for dedication. Now I can understand, due to their time limitation, when he was like taking a closer look and searching the body, they blacked the scene, and I can understand why they did that in the gameplay. Because you only had 5 days, so probably to animate all that and like him searching through a body probably would have been quite a lot more work to animate. Maybe like the door.
Yeah, that, and I bet that would have been a really good like jump scare moment too.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, there's definitely things they could do with the gameplay if they wanted to revisit this game. Flesh it out a bit more. I would love for them to revisit this game, and I don't know. Yeah, I just
make it how they initially like envisioned.
Yeah, like I'm sure they had ideas that they would have wanted to have done if they made this like a full-fledged game, and I think that the game, yeah, like you say, with the gameplay itself, it ticked all the boxes for what a point-and-click adventure should have. Maybe in a full game you would have maybe some hints and tips, if you're struggling, but that if I could find a something to criticize, that might be the only thing. But again, taking into account that they only had 5 days.
Yeah.
So, is there anything else you would like to mention in regards to gameplay? I'm not too sure. You know, is point and
man,
click
not
adventures is
maybe.
a pretty solid formula, I think, for a game anyway.
Yeah, like usually there's a prompt of hey something went in your inventory, but like yeah there was nothing. We just had to check the inventory page like oh we have a new thing.
Yeah, yeah.
But no, other than that it was solid. I loved it.
They had, you know, they had lots of things that you could interact with that you couldn't do anything with, you know, like, and that's something that's nice to have in a point and click adventure. You know, you'll have maybe a room full of 10 interactive points, but they'll give you 15, 5 of which is just basic, like, oh, that's the window, that's that, like, oh, I don't need this right now. So yeah, I mean, I think overall I'm really happy. I'm a big fan of point and click adventures anyway. I grew up on them as a kid. So I think we're giving gameplay a 3 out of 3. We loved it.
Yep.
Moving next on to visuals. Yeah, so it's a very unique style. It looks like it's gone for that sort of 8-bit adventure look.
Yeah, and I love a good 8-bit, especially in a day and age where it's like, no, we have to be as real as possible. So, I like the throwback a lot. So,
yeah, no, it's good to see sort of that old, you know, the older style, especially for, you know, not everyone has high-end gaming systems. So to have a, you know, a game that can be picked up by pretty much anyone and everyone with a computer and play,
right?
You know, it gives accessibility to practically everybody. So, you know, visually, yeah, I mean, visually I like it. I generally love how point and click adventures look anyway, especially the older ones. And you know, it kind of reminded me of visually, I don't know if have you ever played Beneath a Steel Sky?
I don't believe I have.
So that's like an older point and click adventure, I think from like 93, 94. And you know, even going back to those.
I was 3 or 4, so no.
So yeah, so you know, revisiting that sort of style, I mean, gives me a lot of nostalgia when playing these type of games. I mean, visually, I thought it was done very well. Use of colors and especially the scenes where he's slightly out of his mind. You know, finds himself, you know, hanging from the rafters there for a minute.
for no reason.
You know, so yeah, I think yeah, I mean, overall, you know, I said the use of colors was done really well, and I love that style. It might not be for everybody, of course. I know some people that aren't really into that sort of, you know, 8-bit, 16-bit style, 12-bit, whatever bit you want, anything below whatever bit you want.
128-bit.
Yeah, is there anything else you would add in regards to visuals?
No, you pretty much nailed it on the head. Being an 8-bit style with point and click was pretty good.
Yeah, I think like what we said earlier on when I was talking about how it reminded me of the thing, like say that very sort of opening scene in the main menu. I think that did a pretty good job of setting the tone as far as like visually as well. So yeah, I mean, I think we're pretty much on a roll here with these good scores today. So, you know, we're looking at giving visuals a 3 out of 3 because we loved it.
Oh yeah.
Sound. Now, yeah, sound pretty much encompasses everything when we do these reviews so far. So this also takes into account the voice acting as well. You know, down to the atmospheric tones and music in the main menu to the incredible voice acting. I mean, and I think
and
go ahead.
It did have a very like The Thing atmosphere to it, even with the background noise and like the sound effects and everything else. And I'm a fan of The Thing, so which is probably why I'm becoming partial to this game pretty quick.
Right, yeah, I love, I think, we're not trying to sidetrack too much, but yeah, definitely The Thing is a solid film. Like, I love that movie as well, and I like that they took this sort of approach, and some classic British voice acting as well. I don't know, I think sometimes, like, especially like a London accent, or just in general a British accent, it works for, I don't know, for there are just certain things I find it works really well for. You know, just
right, especially like being descriptive.
yeah, because you can use a lot of confusing British slang to make it sound really clever.
Right.
Yeah. You know, the radio's not in good nick or whatever, you know, which, you know, good condition. It's just like, you know, that kind of sort of slang. And yeah, just everything was like really high quality as well. Audio was high quality. Voice acting was amazing. You know, the guy banging on the door outside. Jim!
Jim.
You know, you got Billy Butcher as the main character. But yeah, no, even like I say, even down to like the music and the sound effects. Yeah, I think like we briefly covered this just before we started recording the review portion. Is that, you know, this is probably one of the categories that overly impressed us the most. You know, sound was one of them. So it's a super strong 3 out of 3 because we really loved it. And if we could give you a 4, I mean I could, but I don't like to break my
You'd be breaking your own rules.
I'll be breaking my own rules. So yeah, nice strong 3 out of 3. We loved it. Moving on to the next one, and finally, story. I mean, could we just talk about the thing more? I mean, we probably could.
Right. I liked how in 5 days there were 2 endings.
Right? That's another thing again. Crazy.
Yeah.
Like, you guys made this in 5 days for a competition, and I'm hooked. Like, I want either a prequel or a sequel to this, or just a fully more
prequel,
like leading up to these events,
right?
Something like that. I don't know, just anything. I don't know. Like, the story was done really well. It, you know, although you could definitely see inspiration taken from films like The Thing, I think like on its own it stood up really well. You know, and the voice acting definitely sort of lent into that as well. You know, when I heard there was voice acting in this, I just honestly only anticipated that, you know, through the story that there would just be voice acting for, you know, when he's actually having a conversation. But the internal monologue was also like fully fleshed out as well.
Yeah, it was a welcome surprise. I loved it.
Yeah. We cannot praise enough. Like, this was probably the second this is probably the second category that we were overly impressed with. So, you know, gameplay and visuals were really good, like 3 out of 3, but story and sound was just it, you know, it blew us away. Just like the level of quality for something that was only made in 5 days. Even if it wasn't made in 5 days and it was longer, I think I would still be saying the same thing. Like, it was just done really well.
Right? Like, I wanna go back and just be like, hey, do it again, but we'll give you like 6 months and just see what you can do.
Right? So yeah, I mean, overall the story was great. The fact that, again, we were really amazed that you got 2 endings in there, which kind of contradicted each other, because the first ending, when the first ending was like, oh yeah, no, it was just radiation leak and he was losing his mind, and then the second one's like, no, there's parasites controlling people.
Real.
Wait, so which ending is canon? I don't know.
Right?
All I can say is that this, in an alternative world, this could have been like an alternative storyline for Spider-Man, where he doesn't get his powers, and you replace Ben instead of the son, it's his uncle. And Peter Parker, instead of Dr. Turner, it's Dr. Parker, and and then he shoots his uncle.
I mean, I'm down.
Even when he's not Spider-Man. How did we get Spider-Man into this? Anyway, yeah, overall, story, again, that's very super strong. If I could give it a 4, 3 out of 3. 3 out of 3, we loved it. The story.
Yep, 100%.
So, again, yeah, I mean, now we're just coming down to our, the final verdict. So, final thoughts, recommendations. I would personally just recommend to check out the studio, Powerhoof. They have several, so I grabbed this off itch.io, and they have several other titles available for free download as well, which I'm currently looking at, doing a review at some point for, seeing as this studio seems really awesome and they've got some great titles on Steam. So yeah, I would definitely recommend checking out more of Powerhoof's titles. And yeah, overall this was a really good experience. It's probably one of the, out of all the first takes I've done so far, this has probably been one of the best ones for the games that I've been able to check out so far. But yeah, so far, I mean, do you have any final thoughts about the game? I mean, as you said, you're a big fan of the thing anyway, so...
Yeah, honestly, it was just like... all around, it was really surprising. Like, I didn't know what we were going to get ourselves into, but I'm glad we did. It was a welcome and unfortunately short experience, but it was fantastic.
Right, yeah, and that's the thing as well. I mean, with First Take, we do take a look at short games, which maybe don't always end up getting fleshed out into a full release. Of course, if it's a demo that we review, then we're lucky enough to see a more fully fleshed out game. Have you, I mean, just while we're on the topic of short games, is this short games are something you've looked into playing before, or is this your first experience sort of, with a short game?
No, this is numero uno for me, but
Okay.
but it has my attention now, so
Maybe you'll check out more short games.
yeah, let's see if my my tank of a PC can chug along and see what happens.
I think it should be able to. So yeah, I mean, there we go. That is our first take of Peridium. Highly recommend it, and highly recommend checking out the developer, Powerhoof. I'll leave links in the description to their Twitter and any other relevant links, and check them out. Check out their other stuff. I'd like to also personally thank Sofa for joining me on this review on very, very short notice. So
Anytime. Super fun.
we'll definitely have you back at some point. There's lots of people that this I don't know what episode of First Take this is. I think this is my 5th or 6th one. So yeah, I mean, we'd be happy to have you back at some point if you want to come back.
Nothing with my life, so please, please like this video enough, and he'll let me come back.
Yeah. So far though, before we wrap up, I think you occasionally stream on Twitch, right? Sometimes.
Occasionally, yeah. I haven't done it in so long though. But
So,
yeah,
I'll
I'll get back into it.
Yeah, so I'll leave a link in the description for Sofa's Twitch, and if there happens to be anything else that you want to share, I don't know if you've got any other stuff that you want people to check out.
No, that's all I've got is Twitch right now.
If you want to, on the odd occasion when Sofa's doing some streaming, want to check him out, links in the description, give him a follow. And yeah, thanks once again for joining me on First Take. That's our first take of Peridium. I thank you all for tuning in for this interesting episode and little adventure. If you want to also check me out on Twitch, links in the description. And do not forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for future content releases from myself. If you're looking for more reviews, there's also my series Second Take, which I've just started, where I go back and have a look at previous titles I've completed on my channel and sort of revisit them and, yeah, take a trip down memory lane and do a short review on those titles that I've beaten on my channel. I have once again been a non-professional gamer, and I'll see you in the next one. that's a wrap.